My husband fathered a child before we were together and I just found out, 14 years later. After 12 years of marriage, and 2 children together, I received a Facebook message yesterday from a woman who told me that she has a 15-year-old daughter that my husband has continually denied since her birth. The child was produced from a ONS and afterwards, my spouse did everything he could not to see his child. The mother eventually had his parental rights terminated and she moved away for many years. Fast forward to now, my husband has buried this secret as deeply as possible. On the other hand, his daughter is now having some issues and her mother contacted my mother-in-law in January, imploring him to reach out to his daughter, threatening to tell me if he did not. Apparently they had a 30-minute FaceTime, which he lied about last night until confronted with evidence her mother provided to me, then he admitted that it was true, and then he blocked the account so she could not contact him again. Her mother claimed she sent the message out of love and concern for her daughter, and I understand that she wants her to have a connection with her biological father. But she blew my entire life up in the process. My husband has lied and lied and lied, even after confronted last night with hard evidence. He eventually admitted to everything, but only when backed into a corner. I asked him to leave the house last night so I could clear my head. But the truth is that I can't even look at him, RN. I don't think I've ever felt so dumbfounded, hurt, confused and betrayed all at the same time. My instinct is to call a lawyer to see where I stand, legally and financially, as I'm not sure I can continue this marriage knowing that I might never feel like I can trust him again. My family thinks I'm being rash. BC, I'm hurting so much, and this is 12-hour-old information. Also, knowing how he abandoned his first child makes me feel disgusted. Last night, he spoke about her as a mistake and a dark secret. He was never going to tell us about her existence. BC, he was embarrassed. Regardless of what happened between he and I, there is a teenager out there who shares 25% of her genetic material with my beautiful children. I don't want that child, who did not ask to be born into such a messy situation, to be separated from her family forever. Even if he does not want to see her, I'd like my kids to eventually know their half-sister. BC, she deserves to be loved and supported, even if her father cannot. So now I'm left with options and questions, and I don't know how to proceed. Do I start the process to end my marriage, or do I try to keep my family together? When do we tell our small children about their half-sister? Anyone who has experienced this, all advice is welcome. Update 1. I had a request to post an update, and interestingly enough, I saw a message today that he actually posted in the divorce subreddit after this all happened, and it was full of half-truths. This is what's been going on, and will answer some of your questions. The mother, Carrie, of this child, Danny, has been in contact with us both since this happened. She says that the reason they told me after all these years was BC, Danny wants to be involved in the lives of her 2 half-sisters, my bio children. She has not asked for back child support or anything like that. But now Danny has decided that she wants nothing to do with my spouse, and Carrie doesn't seem to be facilitating the relationship with my family the way she originally stated. It seems like something is amiss, but I've been lied to so many times that honestly, I just can't tell anymore. The termination of his parental rights. According to the both of them, she tried to push him into fatherhood, and when she finally realized that he had zero interest in being a dad, she had him sign away his rights and then proceeded to disappear until Danny was 8. My spouse never paid child support and was never asked to pay child support, both of them have told me that. Then Carrie got married and Jeff adopted Danny. I can't see my spouse's original post, but judging by the comments, he made it seem like he signed his rights away so Jeff could adopt her, but that's a lie. Danny was 8 when she was adopted, not an infant. Carrie tried to contact my spouse to sign those adoption papers in 2016, but he blocked her, so she contacted my mother-in-law who had him sign the papers, and connection ceased again. Then they disappeared again until June of 2020, when Carrie reached out to my mother-in-law. BC, Danny wanted to connect with her paternal biological family. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law proceeded to have a 2.5-year relationship with Danny through phone/video calls, sending presents/money, all the while hiding it from my spouse and lying to Carrie, telling her and Danny that my spouse knew but wanted nothing to do with them. I know this to be true, as I heard my mother-in-law admit it over the phone to my spouse while I was silent on a 3-way call. My spouse had zero idea that anyone had contact with Carrie or Danny until a week after I found out about this situation. In January of 2023, Carrie delivered my in-laws an ultimatum: either produce Danny's bio dad or they would contact me and let me know what's been happening over the past 15 years. My spouse then agreed to a video call with Danny, where he promised that he would tell me and make an effort to make her a part of our lives. Within hours, he had Carrie blocked, and his mother and sister were so scared of their lie being discovered that they stopped talking to Danny altogether, without an explanation. Fast forward to September 2023, my mother-in-law texts Danny to have a good school year, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. A few weeks later, I received the message that would change our seemingly happy life forever. Presently, he has cut off his family completely. Carrie has also cut off all communication with his mother and sister. They are toxic, and it is the right decision for right now. He comes from a long line of liars, and he is no different. He and I are both in therapy. Marriage counseling starting next week. I'm having good days and bad, as expected. My oldest child will be starting private therapy as well. We haven't told her about Danny, but I don't feel right about keeping this secret, and I know both of my kids have been suffering from the fighting and disruption to their normally quiet lives. I've been trying to put my pieces back together, but I'm still very shattered. I'm journaling out my feelings, but anger is present a lot. I don't know if I can ever trust him again. I don't know if I can ever trust anybody again. But I'm working on it with a lot of help from my parents, friends, and therapist. How do I build trust again with the father of my children, even if it's just as co-parents?